We got happy and cute today. Whatever you said. What he said. That's good. There it is. That could be taken as an insult, perhaps. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center. It's the coolest time of the week. Why, you ask? Well, it's because all kinds of cool new knives hit our shelves every day of the week, and I've got the coolest new ones right here in front of me. We're going to start off with CIVIVI Sencut. Better,
those guys.
Best, better, good tiering ranking there. Same company. They dropped a handful of new knives this past week. Smaller in terms of quantity of models this week or this month than in some months, but that should make it a little easier to kind of focus on the items. The first is, initially I thought this was a limited edition, but it's not. It's just a fancier or a higher end version of the new version of the Elementum. Got it? They have done what I think many people have been asking for, added a crossbar lock to the Elementum. That's the first time it's appearing is on this model, and honestly, I think it particularly suits the model. I do happen to be a fan of the crossbar lock, but hey, that's just me. And this, size and shape and features now make it something super easy to recommend to anyone looking for a slightly more premium knife. This doesn't quite have the same budget roots, sitting around that $50 price point of the standard Elementum. This is not quite double, but about $93. For that, you're getting S35 VN steel though, however, so a significant bump up there. Just under 3 inches, super useful drop point blade, hollow ground with a very thin edge. It still has the same characteristics that made the Elementum a success right there, now just with upgraded steel. You know what? I said I didn't think this was a limited edition, but look, it is serialized there on the back.
Limited serial.
So it must be. We must make sure we've updated that on our website.
That pun's not going to work until you see the text that I put on screen.
Oh, darn it. I'm scared now. So anyway, serialized, as you can see, but I do hope they bring this down to regular production in a different material selection, of course, here than what you see here, because it really works well. The crossbar lock is tuned nicely, got that finger safe closing action, wrist flicking, thumb studding as well, and that same neutral handle that the Elementum has been known for, which means all kinds of different hand sizes are going to work with it, even if they're slightly larger than average, like my own. You can choke up, get a full gorilla grip on it, or just kind of hold it in the 3.5 finger grip that is kind of standard. Pocket clip. In this case, it is titanium and bent, and it is reversible. I think this is the first time we've had a reversible clip on an Elementum, which is good because the lock itself is very ambidextrous. It would be a shame to kind of leave lefties out when you have a very lefty-friendly lock like that. Anyway, that is the Elementum crossbar lock. Another limited edition next up is from Knife Company, the Dracarys. $314 and some change. And if you're familiar with Wii's history, this isn't identical, but it kind of has a similar vibe to their Draken model, I think it was, which obviously Dragon. Dracarys, if you're a Game of Thrones person or Song of Ice and Fire person, that is the command to the dragons to breathe fire, so Dracarys. Hot. You've got the dragon scale dragon scale milling on the titanium handles. Unlike the other versions I was talking about, this is not an integral, however. This is 2 sides of titanium screwed together in typical frame lock fashion. M390 steel, 3.6 inches, 314 and some change. There are a few different color variants available. You could check them all out down below. Feels really good. Should slice really nicely thanks to that blade shape. Again, very thin behind the edge. That's something the Wii trio of companies does very, very well. Milled pocket clip, super stable. Lock up there. In addition to the flipper tab, you've got these cool thumb studs as well, which work. Sorry, I had to adjust my grip a little bit right there. I was pushing on the lock bar a little bit. I tried, man. Thumb stud, I think, works better, though. Ergonomically, it's great. You've got a lot of contour underneath these dragon scales right there, and it's actually really, really cool. These also are serialized. 199 of this particular version. Check out all the versions. All right, next up, we have a couple of non-locking knives. The first is obviously going for the very cute factor. This is an Ostap Hell design. This is called the Purr, and it is because in the closed position, it's a little kitty cat. Little kitty cat right there. About $50. I went for the cutest color variation, which is the pink and white. But there are some, purple and black, black and white. Is that black and white? Yeah, black and white G10. There's also a gray and ivory G10 option. Price and specs are all the same, it's just different colors. So this is a detent joint style of non-locking knife, which means you can actually flip the knife using one of the ears here. You can see right there. Flicks it open because it is, like I said, 2 detent bars kind of holding it. You kind of have to get the pressure just right. If you hit it too hard, I actually hit it pretty hard there, and it didn't bounce back. It did before on me though. Yeah, you get that, and you can even kind of flick it closed if you get the pressure just right. I'm still figuring this particular one out. Steel is Nitro V, 1.83 inches, modified Warncliffe shape, even though the website says reverse tanto. I do like, on detent joints in particular, I like a blade with a down, or with a point below the center line like this. Obviously, there's plenty of examples that we're going to look at here in just a minute, where the tip is above center line, and that's certainly very usable. But I like the added safety benefit of a tip below center line on a non-locking detent joint knife, specifically because as you push with the tip to do piercing, you're pushing the blade into the open position. This Sencut here is also non-locking. The difference there, if you're kind of piercing with the blade or piercing with the tip there that's above center line, it's not quite pushing as directly into the open position, so more of a chance for slippage. So, if you're practicing proper knife safety usage techniques, it won't matter, but accidents can always happen. So just be careful. What else? Wire pocket clip, deep carry, reversible. You've got a fob, a little tail on the kitty. You could, of course, take that off if you wish, if you want it even more subtle and unobtrusive and compact. That is the Purr by Ostap Hell. Next up, from Sencut, I did show this and mentioned this is a non-locking knife. This is the Braxx, coming in at about $39. Even less if you go with the G10 or the non-wood handle options. I think there's some G10 and micarta. Let me check real quick. Yeah, we've got G10, micarta, and wood options. 35, 37, and 39 sequentially for those variants. D2 steel on all these, 3.12 inches with the drop point shape. Sort of high flat grind on those. It's not the sliciest profile overall, but you've got the nice lengthy handles, plenty of length there for bigger handed folks. This is not just a small tiny slip joint, and you've got a reversible deep carry pocket clip as well. The tension, the walk and talk on that is a little bit on the softer side, not dangerously so, but it doesn't have like a super crisp pull that some slip joint aficionados, I almost said slipknot aficionados.
They're on a different channel. Yeah,
tend to prefer. You can find them on Sirius XM. Still good, but yeah, if you like super crisp, walk and talk, I'm not feeling that, at least on this particular version. But it does have that half stop there, which is a nice safety measure to keep it from popping all the way closed if you are using the knife. Very cool. First slip joint from Sencut that I'm aware of too. Check it out. Next up, 2 Remettes. We've seen versions of these knives before, but they've kind of revamped them a little bit. This here is the Wild Species, and I am really digging this. Remette seems like, all their designs are pretty good, but they've got a few standouts for me that just, I don't know what it is, but it feels like they have a little more soul than some of their competitors. And this is one of them right here. This version, $235. It is a button-actuated frame lock, or you can still use it just as a regular frame lock, if you want to go that way. So it's more like a button bolstered or a button backup for your frame lock.
It's a baffle.
Button-actuated frame lock. A baffle lock. Not bad. Not bad. We got battle locks. We got baffle locks. We got everything you want over here. That's pretty cool. 3.35 inches, M390 steel, $235 for this version with the tiger stripe heat flame titanium right there. And really cool details with the gold on the button, the pivot collar, and inside the thumb stud right there as well. Just Feels really nicely done. Feel in the hand is really nice. The shape is super graceful. The shape of the blade is super useful. It's very much the type of blade I'm drawn to, a utilitarian drop point with some grace and beauty. You've got it right here. And you've got the security of a frame lock, that super stable lockup, that feel in the hand, that ability as you grip the knife, it makes it even stronger because you're pushing the lock even further closed. And yet it combines that with the convenience of a button lock, the finger safe closing action, the flip open and close, or flick open and closed, that is so nice to use. You've also got thumb studs, you've also got front flipper, take your pick. Just really cool. Lanyard point here at the back, milled pocket clip, just a really, really cool knife. Next up we have from Remette, the RT Cool Whale. Much more affordable. This is at $59. 3.4 inch blade, 14C28N for the steel. So it's not going to hold an edge like your M390s that we were just looking at, but it is a very tough stainless. It can take a really thin edge and a very finely polished edge super well. So it is a steel that cuts exceptionally well. One of my favorites on the market for sure. Red G10 handles with a cool weave showing up. The way they've I don't know whether they cross-cut it or what to get this effect, but it almost is, it's like a cross between like a marbled carbon fiber and a burlap, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe it does if you can catch this in the light, I'm not sure. This is a button-actuated liner lock. So it's not a battle lock, it's a ball lock. But it's not a ball bearing lock, which is Spyderco, which is also why they can't call things compression lock, not that this is one, because that's the Spyderco thing too. Anyway, I'm getting in the weeds. 3.44 inch blade with that clip point shape. Some might call it a reverse tanto because it is kind of like a 940s blade shape. That's the blade that kind of coined the term, of course. Just like you could use the Wild Species there as a frame lock, you can use this as a liner lock, or you can do the button action as well. Same benefits. Flipper tab or thumb studs, in this case, take your pick. Good shape to the handle while still remaining neutral enough for any hand size. You've got an unguarded finger choil there at the front if you do want to choke up. For me, it'd be fingertip control because it's not quite a deep or broad finger choil in this case. A couple flavors are available of this as well, and it feels super, super nice, especially for $59. Next up, I've got a Bestechman knife, and I've got some more Bestech and Bestechman stuff coming up at the very end, but I wanted to put this one a little further up. This is the Sprite from them, and it is a premium titanium, I almost said frame lock, crossbar locking folder on the small size. So it's something you could take into very restrictive knife locations, provided a locking knife is still permissible in some of those places, or if you just want a small, gentlemanly or formal knife, this is gonna be really cool. It's $99. You got a 2.36 inch M390 blade. I particularly liked the bronze titanium, but there's some gray titaniums. There's a crystallized tie is also an option. Just a cool little thing, quite honestly. I like it a lot. It's a 3-finger grip for me, but it feels pretty solid given its size. If I wanted to get a gorilla grip on it, I'm kind of encroaching on the back of the edge just a little bit. I didn't expect it was going to be quite as good as it is, though, honestly. I'm kind of 3.5-finger gorilla gripping it. It's okay. If I needed to push through something, I could. It's not going to be ideal. I'm kind of in a pinch. It's not bad. Reversible deep carry pocket clip. Nice action from the thumbs or the crossbar lock right there. It's pretty cool. I know why you're able to kind of get that grip on it is they left the front of the handle here pretty neutral. There's no like deep finger groove or finger guard or anything to get in the way. It allows you to really use all and more of the handle that is available. So that's the Sprite. They call it a B lock. It's a crossbar lock. What are you going to do? All right, let's keep the small knives going. We've got a Toor knife, 2 Toor knives actually, both in CPM M4 steel, which is very tough stuff, of course. It's a powder metallurgy, holds its edge. Ugh. Both of these have CPM M4. It's tough. It holds an edge really well, but it's not really stainless, which is why they're coated.
Why didn't you say that earlier?
I tried. I failed. What do we got? We have the Vandal. with just over 4-inch blade, and we have the Vasive 2.0 push dagger with about a 2.5-inch blade. Different colors of G10 can be had. The push dagger here is obviously that karambit style, not really karambit style, but the hawkbill style blade with the hook there. That style of blade can really hook in, do a lot of powerful cuts thanks to that. Material kind of gathers into that hawk or that recurve shape under there, so you kind of amplify your pressure a little bit, especially as you come out of a cut. That tip is going to drag and create even more cuts going on right there. And the Vandal, I get the name right? Yes, I did. Is taking like a karambit style back end with the finger ring and marrying it with a still tactical but also very generally useful blade shape right here. Really cool features or combination of stuff right there. Got some jimping here on the back. Technically not jimping, actually. It's scalloping on the sides, almost mimicking like file work in a way. But that behaves as jimping in that it gives you some extra traction right there. Honestly, in a forward grip, I'm not liking the finger ring too much, but it feels pretty darn good in a standard grip. But then in the inverted grip, the ring feels a lot more natural, makes a lot of sense. So it's a nice way they kind of pulled off the best of both worlds right there. Both of these come with a sheath. Would you imagine? Kydex in each case, and it comes with, let me take it out of the bag here real quick, apologies. There it is. This multi-purpose clip right here. It's synthetic, but it could be used either on a belt or in terms of pocket carry, or inside the waistband too. Take your pick with either one of those. So the Vandal, I think, is kind of tactical and practical thanks to like the particular blade shape. How about another tactical, practical thing? I did not have Fisher Space Pen making a bolt action on my bingo card this year, but they have. And that's pretty darn cool. $62, and it comes with, of course, the pressurized Fisher refill, which can write upside down at any angle, underwater, in space, over grease, Super, super reliable writing implement. And you access it with the bolt action, which is nice because it's convenient, like a clicky top, but it's less likely to be deployed in your pocket and get ink all over your pants and that sort of thing. It's got a couple other tricks as well. You can see the ruler on each side. You've got metric and imperial, and that's a nice touch. It's actually zeroed out right at the base, so you can kind of use it as a depth gauge if you use it like so. That's pretty cool. And then it also has a tungsten glass breaker if you bolt into the up position right there. Pretty cool. Milled pocket clip, very sturdy. Inside, I did check it out. It uses the standard Fisher refill, but without the Parker adapter on the end. So if you're hoping you could take this body and put your favorite Parker style refill in there, doesn't look like it is compatible. But if you dig the pressurized refill that Fisher makes, you're in business. Next up, from Buck and their Alpha series of hunters, we have the Alpha Scout at about $85 and the Alpha Hunter at about $95. And these are the Backcountry versions. So you got Alpha Scout Backcountry and Alpha Hunter Backcountry. This is using their 420HC steel, which they are famous for getting maximum performance out of, and made in the USA, of course. The Backcountry denotes the rubberized handles here, Viraflex to be specific, and the bronze Cerakote finish on the blades. Each is really nice. The Alpha Hunter, obviously, a bit more full size with a 3.625-inch blade. That's 3 5/8 for the fractionally minded out there. That could be taken as an insult, perhaps. The fractionally minded.
I know you're talking to.
That's true. Prominent finger groove here, so it is a very prescribed grip in terms of how you hold it, but it's not. It can be gotten around. The thumb scallops here do a great job at the pinch grips right here, and it feels pretty good in a gorilla grip, hammer grip, or a saber grip. Hollow grind on the blade itself, and a nice touch here. You've got the finger guard for protection, but instead of a choil, they've given you a drop right here. So as you sharpen that, it's kind of going to come a little further up. I've used a similar design feature on some of my knives because it can allow you to do like kitchen knifey stuff, and you can actually kind of do that here a little bit, especially if you're hanging off the edge of the cutting board right here. That's a nice touch for a hunting knife that might be your only knife you take camping with you. So you can actually be a little bit of a gourmet if you wanted to. I think that's pretty cool. The Backcountry Alpha Scout, sub 3-inch blade. So this is more of a small game, perhaps caping duty, that sort of thing. Similar story with the handles and the ergonomics here. That grip feels good. Pinch grip feels great as well. Sheaths, gotta talk about those. Here they be. They are Kydex. You've got holes and slots on each, so all kinds of different attachment methods will work, but they do come with a dots style attachment in the box as well. If you'd rather have a new buck folder, but you're not into the traditional stuff they make, how about the 724 Mustang, coming in at about 75 bucks. US made again, 3¼ inch blade, 420 HC, real heavy stonewash on the blade, so it's gonna feel, or it's gonna look the same for a long time. I love how with this type of finish, scratches tend to blend into the finish, so if you have a real high polished finish and you get a scratch on it, it doesn't look so good anymore. Still looks good in this. Hollow grind again, and very thin blade stock. So this is going to be a great slicing option for you. Mid-mounted back lock for security, very easy. You've got the blade cutout for easy one-hand opening as well. Ergonomically feels pretty good. It's aluminum and thin, so it's going to sit flat in the pocket, but it's tall enough that you still have a pretty confidence-inspiring grip to hold on to, quite honestly. This is the dark blue. Comes with, does it have any accenting colors? It doesn't look like it does, but there are some other options which could be had that do have some accenting colors. So you can check them out. Looks like there's 3 options, at least at this point in time. All the same price. You've got a darker blue with a bronze backspacer and an orange handle with a blue backspacer, which looks pretty good too. What else? Deep carry pocket clip, and it is reversible. Next up, we've got 2 new versions of the Metamorphosis from Fox with their radius lock, which is kind of like a button lock and kind of not. 2 versions. I'll show you the lock in a second. We've got this version with a 3.3-inch Wharncliffe style blade, M390 steel, 210 and some change right there. And the black version is same blade length and steel, but with the sheepsfoot style blade, and about $220. The way this works is, well, it might be easier to see on the green one. You push down on this button, and then you rotate it along that arc around the pivot. Now, the first versions of this knife they put out, to open it, you could only do the opposite of that. You push the button and rotate it the other way. But they figured out how to make flippers work on it. It's not a super crisp detent on either of these, but they do flip, and you have the advantage of that finger-safe closing. Let me try. Yeah, you could kind of push and throw the blade open or closed if you wanted to as well. So, yeah, take your pick. You could do either one.
We call it a bark lock.
Bark lock. Button-actuated radius lock?
Button-actuated radial convention. Or concept.
Concept is good. I like button-actuated radial concept, whatever you said. What he said, that's good. G10 for both of these handles. And another shape, kind of like the Mustang that we just looked at, that has enough height, or I guess height's the better word than width in this case, that it's really, substantial feeling in the hand. And this one is thicker than the buck as well, so it furthers that thing. Really, really cool Italian-made knives with a really, really cool lock. Sorry, trying to breeze through the last ones here because we're running out of time to film. The Bestechman Whalefin is also available, $45. A lot of knife for the money. 3.4 inch, I should say, D2 blade with a great drop point shape. Various colors of G10 for the handles. A nice, easy shape to use for, I think, any hand size I could imagine out there. Even if your hands are bigger than this, the shape should still be pretty conducive. Button-actuated plunge lock would be a baffle lock. Most button locks are plunge locks. Not all, many, if not most. So I don't know if we need to clarify that it's a baffle lock. But we're making up terms today, so why not?
We are namers.
Baffle lock. That's really dumb, but I like it. So you've got finger-safe closing action, wrist flick open or closed. Flipper tab in this case, in addition to the blade cutout, so you can do that reverse flick. Told you. Or, of course, you could slow roll, thumb open it. Lots of different options there. Good size and shape for everyday carry. A little bit on the larger side, but not huge at all. Good compromise between strength and cutting efficiency in terms of the thickness of the stock and the high flat grind they put on it. D2, of course, going to hold an edge super, super well. Should pretty much outperform anything in this price range, but it's only semi-stainless. So might not be a problem, but it could be for some particular environments. Next up, the Kombu designed Lanza from Bestechman, or Bestechman. 14C28N steel versions were previously available and are still available, but four new Damascus bladed options. And this is probably some CR series steel base for the Damascus here. $55 for all of these. There's some two-tone G10 options. There's also some wood options, and I really like the olive wood version right here, so I went with that one. Blade is about 3.4 inches long, super slender, nice and pointy, very executive styling in its nature. Reversible pocket clip, which is mounted from the opposite side you want the clip to clip over, so it goes all the way around the back. That's pretty cool. Let's check out the closed position. Very slender. As you can see, the only opening option here is that front flipper, which slow rolls really nicely. For me, in my hand size, this very narrow frame is a bit trickier to do, but it can be done. I got to kind of really think about how I'm doing it, though. For me, I think the slow roll would be king. Your mileage may, of course, vary. Yeah, very classy, especially with that Damascus. And last but not least, from Bestech, we have the Cobber, a crossbar locking knife for just under $60. 3.4-inch blade, 14C28N, drop point shape, stonewash finish. I've already talked about why several of those things are cool in today's episode, so I won't belabor the point. Micarta for this handle option, but there is G10 also available, same price. The crossbar lock feels good. You've got the blade cutout and thumb studs, which means you can essentially move this thumb stud front or back a little bit to position it exactly where you would like, or you could leave it like so. It's entirely up to you. Yeah, it feels pretty good. It's a slenderer handle, so it doesn't have quite the same hand-filling grip that the blade shape might kind of impart to you, or might make you think the rest of the knife had that same type of vibe. Not quite so much, but I really do dig the blade shape nonetheless. It says Happy as Larry on the back. It's probably a designer that I'm not aware of. Jake Diaz, known as Happy as Larry. It's happy. That's kind of cool. We got happy and cute today. Take your pick. Anyway, that's all I've got for today, folks. Thanks for sticking around. Let me know what you thought of the knives down in the comments. And if you want to get your hands on any of them yourself, links in the description or those QR codes up in the corner if you're watching this on your TV, will take you to KnifeCenter.com. While you're there, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program, new options at checkout, or Sezzle payment options if you want to break things into payments. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing off. See you next time.
Once had a beer called the Larry. Made me happy.
There's an LT Wright knife known as the Big Larry. If you know, you know.
I didn't know.